Welcome to another episode of the Talking About Our Feelings podcast.
I got a letter in the mail.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you want to say something else? I know I just...
No. Go on, continue. Just very funny.
Talking About Our Feelings podcast?
Yeah.
I got a letter in the mail. Now we're being attacked by mail. No, I'm kidding. Because, the Swedish guy last week.
Oh, yeah.
Who, by the way, just so you know, I got another message.
From him?
No, from another person who said that you're great on the mic and the shitting in a kettle is funny. So
No, I didn't think that was funny. I was appalled at that. But
okay,
if
can you just take the fucking
compliment? If the
compliment?
story was funny, but... Yeah, no, thank you. I don't approve of shitting kettles, though. That's messed up.
But it's still funny.
But did you hear about Sweden and COVID?
No.
They're all dying, so...
Wait, really?
Yeah, I don't know. The news,
Yeah, I don't. I stay away from it.
They had no lockdown, ever. And then everyone was like, they're doing great. But no, they're all dying apparently. Actually, you know what? I don't trust the news, so they might be doing great.
Okay. I don't know where we just went there.
Anyway, your letter?
My letter. I got a letter. I got a letter in the mail. It's dated December 31st, 2020. So it's from the past. It's from last year.
Well, the good old days when we still had Uncle Donnie.
Yeah. Donald was around, and yeah. I'm not spry right now. Spry of mind. It's early yet for me in the day, and
why don't you have one of my beers?
I don't really have the taste for beer anymore. Do you not remember when during the Wimbledon era? Do you remember the night I got drunk?
In a Mussolini's place?
Yeah, in Mussolini's place. Spaghetti and meatball. I was so upset.
I do remember that. That was bad.
Yeah, well, it's funny. I don't know if we've talked about it on here. Did we? I don't remember.
No.
I truly don't remember anything.
We weren't podcasting back then because things were so horrendous.
Yeah, they were too horrendous to be funny. But
in retrospect, you drinking a few cans of beer, then feeling fat, then crying.
Yeah,
pretty funny.
Yeah, no. Well, that's the thing. So it's like I don't really drink anymore. And by really I mean it's like I don't drink. I used to drink a lot, and I enjoyed all my times, or not all of them. Whatever. The point is I don't drink anymore. But I was feeling very upset one day, and I in my pouty kind of, and just sort of at a loss, you know what I mean? This whole time, there hasn't been a lot of even chemical reprieve, if you will. So I was like, I'm gonna get drunk. So I go down to the fucking bodega and I buy
corner shop
a 4-pack of fucking Coors Light, because basic.
I'm a fan of that shit.
Yeah. I just like how the Rockies change colors and then it's ready. But, I come back up with Coors Light and a pack of gummy bears and I'm snarling at you. I'm like, and you're like, you're not going to drink. And I start slamming these fucking Coors Light tall boys like a, fraternity brother on Pledge Week. Yeah. I'm like,
some fraternity boy is about to fuck a sleeping chick.
Yeah. And
oh, there it goes.
Something fell out of my mouth. No. And then, yeah, I was pretty drunk pretty quick because I don't drink anymore, and I thought it was going to make me feel, I don't know what I thought it was going to make me feel, but all I know is that I was outside, chain smoking cigarettes on the phone, crying, staggering around, and it's not even midnight, and it's all real pathetic. And then I came back in and we kind of I don't even know, I guess we made up or whatever. Mm-hmm. I remember what I was angry at you about, but it doesn't really matter.
You didn't even finish your last beer. You gave up.
No, because I was too drunk from 2 tall cans, 2.5 or whatever. I was I'm drunk, and then I sobered up, and I was oh, I don't feel good. I hate drinking. I never want to do that again. And so it's that's the only time I've even really been kind of drunk.
In the last
recently,
while.
And I didn't enjoy it, not one bit. And granted, I was in a bad mood, but I'm just not into it anymore. It just doesn't do it for me. It's crazy because I used to drink like you know, we were paid in drink tickets in New York, you know, so it's like I'd get a drink ticket, but I'd be at like this place I always go to, and that one drink ticket bought me like, you know, 3 rocks glasses filled to the brim with tequila.
I always knew the teetotalers in comedy to get their drink tickets. Straight away, someone who's fucking had a 10-year heroin problem who does not touch alcohol. I'm like right next to him going, do you have a drink ticket?
I'm bored by what we're talking
Well,
about.
then why don't you talk about your fucking letter? You went off on the tangent, not me.
I didn't mean to. Look, I told you, I'm not really like all sparked up. I kind of have to poop.
Well, read the letter.
Can I go to the bathroom?
What am I meant to do? Fucking... Okay, pause.
Maybe we just start over. Okay, I can't promise that it's not going to happen again, to be honest. I feel like...
That was too quick.
Well,
Did you do all your paperwork?
Yeah, I wipe my ass when I poop, and I shower every day, which, you know, I can't say the same for all other parties in the room.
I like to leave the toilet like a fucking war zone.
Okay.
Like Aleppo.
Yeah, I might have to go do that again. I have that kind of, I mean, I know everybody gets this. You know that kind of nervous energy, which makes you have to poop?
Where'd you have that energy? When are you going to get back to the letter, aren't you?
Okay. So I got this letter in the mail. Sent from the past. It arrived this past week. Inside the letter, it says, to whom it may concern. I don't know much about life. I don't know much about death either. I do know that one day you will die. But right now you are alive. Death waits for you. Life is within you. Blah, blah, blah. Eat this acid. So, you know, the thing that fell out of my mouth, I don't know what you wanted to fucking do this right now.
I thought we could do the acid and then we could do the podcast, and then if the acid started kicking in, we could just end the podcast.
Yeah, but now we're just recording the most boring.
It's not boring.
Ever.
It's not boring because I was going to say I know some guy who had sex with a black prostitute in Vegas.
Okay, but I didn't say anything about Vegas.
Oh, is that where did the letter come from?
See, I wasn't going to say that because why in the world, when a friend and colleague and hero among a sea of fucking urchins does something nice by you, why would you announce that and then give any identifying information to trace it back to them?
Oh, come on. Mm-hmm. There's a city of between 2 and 5 million, I'm sure, something like that. Mm-hmm. So, you know...
I don't know, and I don't think you know either how many people are in Vegas.
You've never been there, and you're from Nevada.
Mm-hmm.
I've been there twice. Mm-hmm. A lot of sex and drugs, gambling.
Right. Well, then maybe one of your friends sent me this letter.
Well, anyway...
Yeah.
It's been a while. This is what we've been reduced to. We're doing like hard drugs in the sitting room on a Saturday when we're off. And I wouldn't have it any other way because what are you meant to do?
What are you meant to do?
I've watched way too much Law and Order.
Yeah, I mean,
Remember that one the other night where that chick, she goes to college and then her first
gets
night
gang
in
banged.
Gang rape. One in the ass, one in the pussy, one in the mouth.
Is this what we're reduced to now?
No, but I'm just saying if I ever had I would never send a woman to college. That's the message I got off that.
Yeah, fair enough. It's expensive. It's too expensive to be...
And the rape.
Yeah.
The 3-way gang rape.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Remember
it's
when
expensive.
She was like, you know, they're interviewing the rapist, and she was saying stop, and then the rapist guy, he was like, no. She was saying, please don't stop.
Yeah, I do remember that.
I was like, high five, bro. That was pretty funny the way you turned the words around there.
I don't know what to say.
As soon as this whole thing is over, I am going back boxing, I believe. I feel like I want to become an athlete again. Was I good? No. Will I get brain damage? Possibly.
I don't know if like now is the best time to be recording a podcast because...
Why not?
Because I'm sitting here and, you know, whatever may or may not be starting to happen within my body.
You see, what the fun thing is we have a timestamp which we're on like 10 minutes now, but you are shitting for 5 minutes. Not even 5 minutes, 3 minutes.
I'm a super duper pooper.
No, that's which I find alarming. I feel like someone just hasn't done all their paperwork.
I just know when I need to go to
the bathroom. So we know exactly when we start to feel funny.
I'm not a fucking farm animal that's like, ooh, I'm going to just like, you know. I got nothing right now. It's Saturday. It's early.
Are you into the idea of getting a bidet?
A what?
A bidet.
No.
Why?
I don't need one.
Okay, so you're telling me spraying water up your ass isn't...
It's not appealing to me, truly.
What? Are you crazy? Are you your fucking...
I guess so.
Are you whatever beans you have living in your head?
I admitted that a while ago.
They have them in Thailand, and I remember being excited about taking a shit there. And believe me, when you're living there for a little bit, you're not shitting.
I went into a single-serve bathroom once at a bar in Reno.
What's a single-serve bathroom?
It's for one person. There's a door.
Okay. Okay. It's just one room.
One room. No stalls.
Okay,
yeah. 2 toilets.
Oh, so 2 toilets, no water divider.
Correct.
I mean, that
one
is...
door.
I love that.
One lock.
I love that.
2 toilets.
What for your best friend that you trust? Racing.
Yeah,
Imagine sitting on a toilet looking at your best friend racing to see who can shit faster. And then commenting on the way they do their paperwork. Did I tell you that I used to stand up and wipe my ass until I was in my early 20s?
Really?
I was in college when my friend found out. And he...
How did he find out?
Because I told him, I was like, when you're standing up wiping your ass, your legs are sore and you gotta bend your knees a little to spread your cheeks to get right in there.
Okay.
And he was like, you can wipe your ass sitting down. And I was like, I was taught wrong.
What?
My mom taught me to stand up and wipe my ass. And then my friend Joe was like, you can do it all sitting down. And it's still, when I sit down and wipe my ass, I'm still like, this is new to me. It's been it's been less than 10 years.
Wow.
I mean, you don't have to get up.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was doing. You know what I mean? Your hand just has to reach around in an awkward position. And then he was like, then we're arguing about which way you wipe your ass. Because he was like, why if you wipe... I was like, you wipe up. And he was like, you wipe down. And I was like, no, that's how you get shit all over your balls.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and agree with you. You do front to back.
But I'm into getting a bidet, is what I'm saying. Maybe that's something we should, when we get rich, we should look into. It might be one of my first purchases.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Why?
Because I don't want one.
Okay, well, you can still use toilet paper, but we're going to be using half as much.
I guess the bidet pays for itself then.
It does pay for itself. This is it. This is the new world.
But then you got to factor in the extra water that's being used. But then we're also on a fixed price.
We're on a fixed price, really so I'm just going to be...
what about the world?
I'm going to be shooting water up my ass recreationally.
You're going to ruin a jungle just shooting water up your ass.
It doesn't work like
that. Yeah, no. The water will be depleted from a natural resource.
I think this whole fucking thing is a simulation anyway, so I'm not feeling guilty about any jungles anymore.
We're here, aren't we?
Yeah. I'd say make more jungles with the fucking data encryption overlords. Do you feel anything?
Do I feel anything?
Yeah.
I feel like I still have a piece of paper in my mouth and it's hard to talk and I'm not having any thoughts that I would like to really put the stamp of approval
As soon as this lockdown's over, I'm going back boxing.
You've already said that.
Yeah, but I want to be tough. I'm going to fuck people up. I used to bar fight for one summer.
What does that mean? I used to bar fight for one summer.
You get into a bar, someone's looking at you, you're like, is he fucking looking at me? But you always hang around with someone who was also like, are you fucking looking at me?
Okay.
And then you walk over and you lose a fight in a bar.
And okay. And what was the appeal?
Not wearing sleeves, I guess. And
I'm sorry. So let me get this straight. You got into bar fights, you lost bar fights for an entire summer just so you could wear shirts without sleeves.
The whole thing was, it was like I was painting my own kind of poetic picture of my life back then.
You really you're very, yeah. You're such a Cancer, like astrological sign. No, your star sign. You're just very... you're very moody and brooding and you create this like romantic idea of something, right? And then you kind of slowly alter your kind of swag and gestures and whatever to kind of go into that like vision you've dreamed of.
You're saying I'm trying too hard to be cool.
No, I kind of like it because I don't think that's what it is. Because there's a more whimsical dream-like state to what you do. I don't think it's just that like I'm trying hard to be cool. I think it's like you kind of like latch on to something like that you like the feeling it gives you, like the thought of it, or the lifestyle of it. So you sort of like dream up your version of it and like, try to emulate it. But it's not, I don't see it as the same thing as somebody who's like trying too hard to be cool. You're testing stuff out, but it's based on a true feeling that you have, that you see in something. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think you're just like, you're not like, oh, Abercrombie and Fitch is cool, so I'm going to like wear that. I think you like have to like the idea the feeling that an idea gives you before you start.
All I wear is Adidas tracksuits these days.
Yeah, I know. That's because we're health goth now.
Yeah, but even if it did open up.
Yeah, I know.
I still want to wear this to the bar. I want to wear a tracksuit. On stage, I'll probably wear an Adidas tracksuit.
I mean, when I was thinking, I couldn't sleep last night, of course, shocked me. And then I was thinking about, this LSD. And I was thinking, I should probably go outside a bit before we take it. Because I'm genuinely not good outside now. And I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this. You have, self-admitted have like social anxiety, right?
Says who? And also,
I just said self-admitted.
Yeah,
says yourself.
I said that, yeah.
And I might have had it like a little bit, but like I was pretty good socially. Right now I feel like...
Socially retarded.
I don't know how I'm going to do it. I feel very nervous, even thinking about having some sort of interaction on the street that involves like nodding, like I walked by this guy.
Homeless?
No. Not too long ago. And the way he said hello was by nodding his head and saying, all right. Is that?
No, that makes sense.
Okay, no. How does that make sense?
All right. Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense.
No, I'm going to go ahead and say that's a cultural difference. That's not, you're saying
I'm not from here.
Yeah, well.
All right. Wait. Let me picture it. I haven't said hello to anyone who
He's like, all right.
I say hello to...
All right.
I say hello to like 3 or 4 people a week.
That's 3 or 4 more people than I say hello to.
Yeah, that's it. Wait, let me see. I'm looking. All right. Yeah. It's crack. No, I don't say that here. I don't know what I say here.
Yeah, I mean, I say hello.
Good morning.
I say hello. But I also don't say hello or anything to people I don't know.
Not in a big city.
So it's like, it's a little nerve-wracking. Like every small things that used to be a part of a very busy day for me, like very small, like you wouldn't give it another thought, minor inconvenience or just like task is now the entirety of my day. And if something goes wrong, it feels almost unmanageable then. Which is like alarming to think about, like the high rate of output I had for like the majority of my life to now sort of be whittled down to like, I need to mail a package and nothing can go wrong. Because if something goes wrong, I'm going to have to go home, cry about it, and then return to the experience.
I don't know.
A dog wouldn't let me. Did I talk you to
a dog? Yeah, a dog barked.
Well, I know I told you, but yeah, a dog. So, yeah.
Do you want to go into the story?
Well, I don't remember if I told it last week or not. So, we'll save it.
Why don't you just fucking tell it again?
Do
you think their attention spans, the 8 people that listen, are fucking as good as anyone else's? Everyone's fucked.
I don't know what's going on. Well, the thing that's so interesting about this is it's like, so we all acknowledge that everybody's fucked. And yet you kind of see how we all try to interact in the way that we used to. It's like there's an acknowledgement that everything has changed, but at the same time, because it changed at such a colossally, or that's not the word I'm looking for, not colossal, but like a glacier type pace, right? Like normally you would change a lot in a year, but I guess like you changed a lot, but it was also at a slow pace.
I regress socially, which I'm happy about, really. I was getting ahead of myself anyway. I don't
like this podcast.
Too many. Well, you're the one who's fucking always bringing the negative energy there.
Well,
just hang in there. I think we're doing great. Why do you not dislike it? You can't just... You're like committing suicide on the piece of art that I'm trying to produce right now. You know what I mean? You're shitting halfway through it.
Well, I'm the real artist then, aren't I?
Oh, let's not butt heads about this. I meditate on my art deeply, you know that. You know that when I'm writing a joke, I think very deeply about
Pedophilia.
I was thinking maybe there's a podcast for pedophiles, like a NAMBLA podcast, and it's on the dark web.
A pedophile support group.
Yeah, a pedophile support group, but it's like, there's tips in it, like going like what cool things to say to 4-year-olds to make them think you're hip.
Wow. I don't think, yeah. While that would probably be very popular,
Imagine being so far into researching a paedophile joke that you're actually like in the fucking chat rooms and communities, and suddenly your stand-up actually only works for the paedophiles. It's that much inside baseball. That's the kind of layers I want to hit in comedy. You know what I mean?
I don't even know.
You don't even know what?
I mean, you said comedy. I don't even know what, that looks like anymore.
No, I'm looking forward to going back to open mics at some point. Do you remember them?
Yeah, I was actually, I'm even like reminiscing about like the worst experiences doing comedy because I would like take that.
I loved open mics where there was like 40 comics on, and then there was at least 2 or 3 people you'd think are going to murder their family.
Or murder you.
Well, someone would go up for 5 minutes and talk about like cutting off their ex's head, but they wouldn't like have, you see there's potential there, he just doesn't have a punchline. And then people who don't do stand up, who are just in the bar or like appalled. That's great.
I mean, they're like leaving the bar.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? You can't take a joke like.
Yeah, that delicate
How many
balance.
fucking open mics have ruined an establishment?
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like for the bar owner, that delicate balance of trying to figure out if the 1 drink minimum that you made everybody buy to do the mic, is worth forcing the other patrons, some who may be regulars, out of the establishment for an entire evening to listen to jokes about murder and dicks and
to people who fucking only order a glass of water at the bar.
Yeah, well,
oh man, you run an open mic and people, you see people who break the light and don't buy a drink. Well, see, get the fuck out of here.
Well, that's the thing. In New York, a lot of places do like it for the mic. It's like a 1 drink minimum.
That makes sense. In Vancouver, I propped up the whole fucking scene by like being a drunk. People didn't realize that. They're like, oh, you're drinking too much, while you do comedy, and it's no one can understand what you're saying. And it's not good. And I'm like, take a fucking step back there, and have a look and see what I'm doing. I am circulating money throughout the bar system in the city, thus propelling the art scene. And then I go on stage and say a slur, and then they're like, jeez.
Speaking of art,
What?
I feel like my foot thing is short-lived. I don't really feel, if you can believe it, the passion or inspiration to take pictures of my feet for needy men on the internet. Like, do you remember last week when I had you wearing my socks? Because
I thought I was taking part in a project.
Like, yeah, you were.
I was being like a feminist and shit.
Yeah, well, basically, I listed some shoes legitimately on Facebook Marketplace to sell in a legitimate way. And then I get this message from this guy, they're women's shoes. I get this message from this guy and he's like, are they still available? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, are they smelly and well worn? And I was just like,
oh, here we go.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. Like, I was like, I recognize you. And then it was like a week of fucking negotiations. And the thing is like, you don't really negotiate with them, but this guy, I basically said I would sell him socks, and then I like lowballed myself because, I'm not feeling a lot of confidence. So I priced my socks too low, and then I told you to put them on. And then I was like, I'm going to mail them to you or, schedule delivery, like you delivering them to him. And he was like, well, I want photos during the week. And it's like, photos cost money. Like, you don't get free photos, of me wearing these socks. Like, the socks are already cheap, And so then we're like haggling about pictures. And like he's
There's
like
foot stuff in the LGBTQ.
LGBTQF.
I mean,
Feet.
I guess you can't actually just date a pair of feet. So
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, you can. There's like foot molds out there. I guess if you wanted to buy one and make it your girlfriend, you could. But
that's pretty funny.
Yeah, but yeah, you know, he's like, oh, I want you to meet me and deliver them in person, and I'm like, that's expensive, you know, like he thinks he's gonna get. This is like the gall of some people. People want really, and myself included, they want premium for like $0, you know.
Yeah, people talking.
And this guy, he wants socks worn for an entire week straight without taking them off. 1 week. Photos, and then like meet up to get, and I'm like, you want that for 20 pounds? You're out of your fucking mind. Like, and by the way, 20 pounds is like way lowballing the socks. Like, it's just, so, you know, no deal. You got to take the socks off. I really don't feel any passion here to continue. That was an accident, you know, that was me trying to sell some shoes, which also.
He seems like the kind of guy who would enjoy a pedophile podcast. Yeah,
I mean, you know, I hate to say it, but I find like the foot people to be especially needy, and especially like, oh, can I have, you know.
I'm all for shaming people's sexual things. I think it's
especially
good.
Your own.
Yeah, I think shame's important. I was trying to figure out the other day what's the difference between guilt and shame. Like when I wake up hungover and I know I've done a bad thing and the place is ruined. This is not our lives, but my previous life. I was always like, is this guilt or shame? Do you know what's the difference between them? And you see, if you're brought up Catholic, it's very hard to distinguish between the two.
Now let's see if guilt is sort of like, you know, you've done
you're
something
obviously guilty.
wrong.
You're obviously guilty about your skin color as a woman.
Okay, I'm just gonna ignore that because I don't think it even made sense. Guilt is like, I feel like guilt is coming from an external like behavior, right? Like you do something.
Okay, yeah. You do something and then you feel guilty about it.
Mm-hmm. Whereas shame.
You punch a homeless lady and then you're like, shouldn't have done that, but I was having such a good time that night.
I think shame can come from.
Shame can come from your body.
Shame can come from, yeah, like it could be purely psychological. Maybe. I don't know. I'm not a fucking doctor, you know?
I think shitting in the street, that's shame. That's not guilt.
I mean, I think that's guilt and shame.
But like abducting a child, I think that's guilt.
Maybe guilt is like, maybe there's no flexibility with guilt. You're either guilty or you're innocent.
When you wake up with chocolate in your hair, is that guilt or shame?
It's tasty. I don't know. What is this waking life shit? I don't.
Sometimes you like think of two words and you're like, I'm a native English speaker, or kinda, or I don't know, I can brain damage or something. But like, I don't even know some basic words. Guilt and shame, I don't know the difference between them really. I think shame and guilt, they both have religious connotations to me, to be honest.
Well, go on.
I don't know, Catholicism.
I know, I love unpacking this with you because I
don't even believe in it.
Yeah, but you were.
I'm just a mishmash of other people's opinions, you know that?
You were, isn't everybody? And,
yeah.
And you were in Catholic school for how long?
I don't even know if it was Catholic school.
You don't even know if it was.
A priest used to come around, and there was a paedophile in the parish. That was definitely for sure. That was our main joke. Our main joke was this guy came, and his name was Father Jim.
Original.
I have a theory that Ireland invented the paedophile priest. Like, okay. The archetype is created in Ireland and it's spread to like, you know, it's mostly in the US and like in Irish American parishes, like in the East Coast. That's where the most kids got, you know, they're cherry popped. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But yeah, we had a priest come to our parish, Father Jim, and he couldn't say God. He could not, as a priest. What's your fucking job? To be able to pronounce the word God. But you just say God. He used to add in an L because he was probably raped so bad he got L's raped into him in fucking whatever preschool he went to. But he wasn't doing any. This is the thing here. He wasn't doing any fiddling in our community, according to all my friends. but previous places he was. But he used to coach the the under-8s hurling team. So
Yeah,
I mean,
hurling-
he got to see some good ass there.
Okay. Hurling is something I just want to pause on for a second because I just learned you told me you hurt your shins during the years you were hurling, and I don't know what hurling is. And then we sort of looked it up, and I was like, this is like a real mishmash of like
No, it's not a mishmash. I hate this
activity.
bullshit. If you come from a country that's an experiment that's going wrong just now, it's not even old. Hurling's been around.
I'm not standing here a proud American. But we're discussing hurling.
That's a different.
I like that I
That's a
say
different
one
topic.
thing about hurling and then you just
I actually-
insult
No.
America.
I don't want to insult America ever because I'm a fan of America. And do you ever know America is the only country you can make fun of, even to an American, to their face, no matter what.
Yeah.
It's so like there's a disparity
Because
there.
there's guilt and shame there,
Hurling's been around before soccer and rugby. Actually, you know what?
But just because it's been around for a while doesn't mean it makes sense.
No. The thing is, if you grew up with something, it makes perfect sense to you, but to an outsider, it looks ridiculous. I mean, have you ever looked at Chinese people doing anything? To me, it looks hilarious, but to them, they're just like they're probably just eating with chopsticks.
All I'm trying to do is talk about hurling. I'm just trying. I keep bringing it back, and you're like, how do I make it more racist, more offensive? Touch more kids. How do I make these?
When you talk about hurling being weird, don't talk about chopsticks or being weird. No, it's I guess it's what's your closest thing would be lacrosse or something.
Lacrosse? I don't think the two things are even sort of similar based on the photos.
Well, it's the same as ice hockey, except it just makes more sense because we're not actually ice-dwelling creatures. Canadians are disgusting.
Okay, wow. Just who have we checked off today right now? Who have you offended? Children, the Catholic Church, Chinese people, Canadians, anyone else?
I mean, Australians are just bad people.
Okay, Australia, throw them in there, and then Ireland, really.
Absolute pigs.
And Americans. So you're covering a lot of ground today.
Well, they fucking did their own fucking terrorist act in their country.
I don't even know who you're talking about.
Neither do
I. Yeah. I don't know what hurling is. To even understand that it was.
I showed you one YouTube video, and then
I was wow.
The thing is that most people would jump on the opportunity to show you about their culture.
Oh yeah,
the culture's so gay. Like to train, like you're proud. Like I hang around with like French and Italians, and they want to like get me into French and Italian shit. And
I'd eat the food.
I'd eat the food. I just pretend that it's cool, but what I'm really saying is like everything's in comparison to Hollywood anyway. Which was like, what I'm saying is I want to be Jewish.
Okay.
There we go.
So one set of people you're not out to
One
offend.
set of people. How about the chosen people?
Okay. Well, you're well on your way to being Jewish then. You've taken the first steps. That means no more Christmas, right? No more Christmas ham.
You know what? Maybe the Second World War, there was some idea behind it.
Okay. I just... I like that.
Imagine the Second World War was fought because there was a certain amount of people trying to get rid of Christmas. Imagine Hitler was there to save Christmas.
Yeah. Wow.
No one's even thought of this angle yet. Maybe he was just really into Christmas.
And look at you. You've finally written a joke.
I won't remember in a second. Do you feel anything?
I don't know. It's been 34
It's such
minutes.
a thick chunk of car. Are you sure he didn't just send you like a prank?
Well, who knows? We could be sucking on cardboard. It's still more than we have to do.
No,
usually.
I definitely feel a bit different. I feel a bit gay. I feel a bit gay. I feel a bit gay.
I don't have anything to say. One of the last times, I guess we've microdosed mushrooms together, but one of the last times
When?
In Australia.
Barely though.
Yeah, I know. But one of the last times I took mushrooms, I was trying to microdose and accidentally dosed myself. And I wasn't really prepared for like that type of experience,
Do you have work or something?
Yeah, I was sort of technically at work, yeah. And like I And like, you know, I was with my roommate because we were at home. I think I mentioned this, but whatever. I'll like sum up. I thought I started a trash fire in Morningside Park in Harlem then. And that's when I knew I had like dosed myself as opposed to microdosed, because I was entering the park. I was going on a walk because I was feeling a little restless, and I was entering the park and I was smoking a cigarette. And as I was entering the park, I sort of panicked about what to do with the butt, even though like it's New York City.
No, I 100%.
I know, but it's New York, and I have thrown butts on the ground 99.9% of my life.
Do you ever see someone? Do you ever see throw a butt on the ground and someone stops you and goes, "Pick that up"?
No, but I did. My dog used to, if we went on long walks, he would poop so much that he didn't have any poop left. So then he would like sometimes stop, and we'd do this whole like fucking song and dance for this like phantom poo that never came out, right? Like nothing came out.
Yeah.
So one time we stopped and we're doing that, and I'm always sitting there thinking like, this dog is not making a shit, but he's looking like he's making a shit. So if I don't bend over and pretend to pick up the shit that isn't there, somebody's gonna say some shit to me.
Oh wow, yeah, that's
well, yeah. Guess what?
That sounds
so,
like
fucking nightmare. Nightmare. That's a
yeah.
reason to kill the dog, you know, and just get rid of it. No, but he was doing his phantom shit, and there was this old man across the street, and it was like the one time I didn't fake pick up poo that wasn't there, and this old man was like, you know, Are you gonna pick that up? And I was like, there's nothing there, which I'm like, who's crazier? You know, the old man watching a woman from across the street to ensure.
You should have dragged him by his collar and shoved his face right down to where the shit wasn't.
The dog or the man?
The man.
Yeah, well and then I'm screaming that there's no poop there, and then it's like, we're both like lunatics, and the dog's just like, you know, the most sane individual of the whole experience. But like, yeah, normally I would just throw the butts on the ground, but I was entering the park and, you know, clearly starting to become high on drugs because I started to get paranoid. I was like, well, I shouldn't put this butt, even though I'm like a foot away from the street and could just flick it there. I'm now too much in the park, so I can't go back to flick it. So I'm just going to put it out in the trash can. So I threw it in the trash can because when you buy cigarettes in New York, and if they come from New York, I was told this once, I don't know if it's true, but like, they basically prevent cigarettes from starting fires. Like there's something they put in the filter, the paper, or whatever, where it won't start a fire if you buy the cigarettes in New York. This could just all be bullshit.
Yeah, I know, that makes perfect sense. If you throw it into a fucking basket of papers, it's going to, you know.
Well, that's what I'm saying, because like on the bottom of cigarettes, you can see what state they came from.
Really?
Yeah. So it's like, so for example, if you went into a bodega which you knew sold cheap cigarettes, they sold them because they imported them from like fucking Virginia rather than directly from the company to be New York cigarettes. Oh. And you can see on the bottom, you know, what stamp to say what state they came from. The same cigarettes?
Or is there like a cheaper version?
Well, they're cheaper if you buy them from the bodega and they came from Virginia, which leads me to believe that perhaps this special cigarette thing that, you know, I've just announced on here, like, where it prevents the filter from starting a fire might be a special New York thing. I don't know. I also don't care anymore because I don't live there. So there you go. But all I know is that I had the cigarettes. I'm pretty sure they were cheap cigarettes. I just toss the butt into the trash can, but I don't put it out first. Right? And I was like starting to walk away, and then I like look back at I feel inclined to look back at the trash can, and I kind of see a little smoke.
Yeah, and then did you not go and put it out?
Well, I sort of went near it, and then I couldn't see, and then I start becoming paranoid because there's a lot of people in the park.
So now you're thinking,
I'm like, who's watching me have this weird relationship with this trash can?
Well, I'll look guilty if I'm too near.
Yeah.
And at this stage, if it's already on fire, maybe they'll blame a black guy and shoot him.
Okay, that wasn't the exact train of thought, but all right. So I'm starting to walk away from the trash can because now I'm afraid of the situation. So basically, I hightail it home. I'm nervous. I'm frightened. I'm starting to realize I'm pretty high on drugs because this should have been a very easy experience, but instead was like a lot of drama. And so I like, you know, charge back into the apartment, into my roommate's room who's working. It's like 2:00 on a Monday or some shit. It's like, you know, and I'm like, Joe, I think I started a trash fire in the park. And he's just like, what? You know, like, what are you talking about? And I explain everything. And he just sort of laughs at me. And he's like, we'll look on the neighborhood watch app. There's like an app, like crimes. I don't know what it fucking is, but he has the app. And he pulls it up. Because, I also hear sirens now that I'm at home.
Because you're on drugs.
Yeah, but also New York City, right? So I think I'm like, those are the fire trucks. I'm like, I'm burning down Harlem. Like, I'm like, I've burnt down Harlem. This is the real gentrification. I hate myself. Whatever. And so he looks up on the fucking app, and it does say that there's a fire like near the park, like, because that's when he's like, oh dude, you might, and I'm like panicking. I'm like, this is so bad, and I'm like, I am high on mushrooms, like this is very bad. So I was like, Joe, you have to go back there with me. Like, we're gonna take the dog, we're gonna look like we're just on a walk, I'm gonna change my clothes. So he's like, Jesus Christ, like, you're crazy, but fine. So I changed my clothes, I put on these big sunglasses, and we got the dog, and I'm like, just act normal. He's like, fine, like, I've got this, like, you're the one, you know. And yeah, sure enough, we walk by, no trash fire, it's totally fine. The park's there, people are there, everybody's having a good time. But then I was like, I'm high on mushrooms, this isn't what I expected, and then I just had a bad time. And that's sort of how I feel like this has started for me.
No, this is okay.
Is it? Yeah. Is it okay?
This is grand, yeah. I had a story with someone flicking a butt.
I'm watching you pull your hair out and then throw it on the floor in clumps.
If I do start going prematurely bald, male pattern baldness, whatever it is, I will get involved in domestic terrorism.
I believe
that is literally the last bastion of my decency.
I support it.
If I lose my hair and look like one of those bald cunts, I will have C4 strapped all over some sort of government building.
Did you swallow your thing?
No, it's in my lips.
I don't think we need to keep it in there anymore. I mean, we've had it in there the whole time.
Mine says colour on it.
So?
It's like a pair of eyes on it. Who's looking at me? I'm looking at you, you cunt.
Okay. Should we wrap this up?
No way, I had a story about flicking butts. It was good. When I was in New Zealand, I was living in New Zealand with an ex-girlfriend. Don't get jealous. And my job was asbestos removal.
Wait, which part would I be jealous of? The fact you had an ex-girlfriend or the fact that you were in New Zealand?
Working as an asbestos removalist.
Yeah, you know what? I'm jealous of the asbestos. I'd love to be removed by you.
Anyway, the only people that did the job were like people like me who are like kind of like mentally retarded and like criminals. So they're all like they're all like Maori and fucking from what's the other place? Samoa.
I'm realizing that I am married to someone who identifies by choice as mentally retarded.
I know, I love it.
Okay.
I love it. It's 2021. You can fucking... Whatever you identify to be, you are it. And it's a sick way to be. And do you know that you can, like... If I could go back 10 years' time... If I could go back 10 years' time, makes no sense. If I could go back 10 years ago, I would be trans and I would go back to boxing and I would knock the shit out of every female and become a champion. Like, obviously an amateur champion. Like, okay. I mean, like... You know, I'm not that talented. But I can beat the shit out of women. Like, come on.
Jesus Christ.
If Joe Biden's America, you can do that now. But that is, I'm not even angry about that. I think that's good. I mean, yes, of course it obliterates female sport forever. But as for the individual glory, how can you resist not putting on a wig? Anyway, I was saying about this kid in New Zealand. Mm-hmm. He flicked his butt, this Maori kid. He was really funny. I used to hang out with him while we were waiting for the bus after work. He flicked his butt on the floor and some chick started fucking melting down on him going, what do you think you're doing? Flicking a butt on the floor, you know, the environment. And he went, shut up, white bitch. And she shut the fuck up. And I thought it was really funny.
Wow, do you have the book rights to that one? Because I just I am riveted.
Alright, do you feel a bit special needs yet?
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know, we did it.
Feel something anyway.
And now it's done.
Let's wrap it up. Oh yeah, there's people I need to mention. So we got Dominic, Kevin, Sinead, Niler.
That's it. We lost one. Nope, we lost one. They're no longer supporting us.
I can't believe those people are still supporting us. You for real? Yeah. That's because they forgot.
Well,
they just completely forgot about that.
We have not forgotten. and that's all that matters.
Well, in
about
4 years, we'll have enough Patreon money to upgrade the fucking microphone.
Yeah, so look at
4-year
that.
plan.
Thank those people for keeping the dream.
Thanks for keeping the fucking
alive.
Keeping the engine running. What do you say? What's that saying? Keeping the doors open. Keeping the doors open. Keeping the fire burning.
Lights on.
Good night.
This American Irish life.